Hello, greetings, and thanks for being here once again. Today I'm going to begin to introduce you to some of the works of Thomas Merton. I believe Thomas Merton to be the greatest mystic in American history. And this book that I'm introducing you to is called New Seeds of Contemplation. It was first published, I think, in 1961. Merton was killed in 1968. So he's in the mature phases of his writings. If you just go to your search engine and key in Thomas Merton, you'll find all kinds of information about him. This was one of his most famous books, and I want to share in the section on what is contemplation some of his words with you. He says that contemplation is the highest expression of man's intellectual and spiritual life. So this is the best life as far as he's concerned. It is that life itself, fully awake, fully active, fully aware that it is alive. You know, some people connect things like being spiritual or being religious or part of an organized religion as, boy, it must be really dull, that it's just a bunch of rules and regulations where old men try to keep you from having fun. That is not Merton's view at all. And he's fully contemplative in his lifestyle. He says it is spiritual wonder. It is spontaneous awe at the sacredness of life, of being. That phrase, spontaneous awe, reminds me of when you watch children, the youngest children, and they are so excited about everything new. Their eyes, their face light up with wonder when they experience new things. It is gratitude for life, for awareness, and for being. It is a vivid realization of the fact that life and being in us proceed from an invisible, transcendent, and infinitely abundant source. So the difference between a totally materialistic point of view and that of the mystical point of view is that we have a source, and this source can, in some respects, we can begin to know and connect with. Contemplation is, above all, awareness of the reality of that source. He does go on to say that it knows the source obscurely and inexplicably. In other words, we can't know everything there is to know about the divine source. He's going to go on to say that even what we do know, we cannot describe in words, because words are just signposts to the reality. The source must be experienced for yourself. So it knows the source obscurely and inexplicably, but with a certitude that goes beyond reason and beyond simple faith. So this contemplative lifestyle is going to take you further. To enter into the realm of contemplation, he says, one must, in a certain sense, die. But this death is in fact the entrance into a higher life. It is death for the sake of life. So it is that what in the scriptural writings are phrased in so many different ways. Some of them we've talked about on this channel, of being renewed, being reborn, being taking off the old person and putting on the new. It's called dying to self and awakening to the spiritual, to the divine. So he says, contemplation seems to supersede and to discard every other form of intuition and experiences. All other experiences are momentarily lost. They die to be born again on a higher level of life. It seems as though one is touched by the divine in contemplation, touched by him who has no hands, but who is pure reality and the source of all that is real. So contemplation is a sudden gift of awareness, an awakening to the real within all that is real. Well, I'm going to stop there. This just gives you a little taste of Merton's wonder and enthusiasm when it comes to a contemplative life. And when he talks about contemplation, he makes it clear that you do not have to become a monk or a sister or a brother, go to a monastery or a convent. You don't have to live in a hermitage. He went on within the parameters of that society to move from the main area into isolation, into a hermitage, so that he could become even closer to nature and closer to his God in deeper contemplation than that he had had before. So he's got a fascinating life, multiple writings that are some of his books very famous, and some of his teachings with him actually speaking there are just a few, but some are available online. So I want to thank you for being here today and learning about Thomas Merton. We're going to delve deeper into some of his thoughts and ideas, and I hope you'll join with me as we do. And in the meantime, I hope you stay safe and well, and I'll see you in the next one.